This is something that I find really interesting when it comes to learning more about your own consciousness and understanding the mind. And that is understanding that the human experience includes pain and suffering. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. Being human involves pain and suffering. What you'll learn when you start to get into the scriptures and into the more philosophical side to spirituality and yoga and mindfulness is that there's basically two types of suffering. There's the psychological suffering and the physical suffering. But the thing you'll start to realize when you start to develop this awareness of going inwards with your attention is that a large part of the suffering is self-created. And according to Buddha, your suffering is due to your attachment or the clinging of mind. And then what happens when you live a life with an unobserved mind, you tend to accumulate these cravings or these aversions of the mind, these identifications, past and present. And what happens is they start to build up in the body. And it's often known, let's just say by Eckhart Tolle, as the pain body or the shadow self or the shadow body. And these things tend to then influence the way you move through your life and you become kind of less responsive and more reactive to life. This identification tends to dominate your experience because you're very caught up in the cravings and the aversions of the mind. So the question is, how can you overcome this? How can you free yourself from the suffering and how can you become less identified? Right there it's said, you need to learn to become less identified with things from the past and in the present, understanding that you are not your thoughts and you are not your mind. And you become more of an observer of your thoughts rather than getting sucked to them. So if you can become less reactive to your thoughts, you can view your thoughts neutrally from an objective perspective, whilst keeping the mind completely balanced or equanimous, i.e. you see your cravings as a clinging or a sensation of the mind, and you see your aversions as a pushing of the mind, then you're free. Then you are not taking in any more sufferings from the outside world, nor are you accumulating or cycling any more in your mind from the inside. And then you just become pure awareness, which is easier said than done, but that's kind of the principles and the approach to it. Basically, trying to become the conscious observer.